There we go. Okay, so it is April 2nd. Um, and what we're going to talk about tonight is I'm gonna talk to you guys about the Success Club cruise that I just came back from, and we're gonna talk about the Super Weekend coming up. So real quick, show of hands, has anybody listened to the National Wake Up Call from this week already?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay, so we have Jess listened and I listened. All right. So I would definitely, and Holly listened. Okay.
I listened to half of it.
Half of it. Okay. I like watching it. I'm not great at watching it live, but I always watch it later, and I fast forward through the recognition because I don't care about that. I mean, not that I don't care. It's great, but I'm on a time crunch, right? So I fast forward through that, and then I pick up where they bring on the speaker. And I've heard her talk before, and she has a really, really amazing story. She had two young boys, and her husband had a whole other family, like a whole other secret family, like crazy, right? And they're like both members of the church, and then she up and moved to Florida with her kids and this business, and it was just right? And she's so positive. So very, very cool. But she talks about live events in the community, and it's so important because, this business, it's not hard work, but you have to work hard. And a lot of that is helping people and, talking about things that are uncomfortable and getting out of your comfort zone. So it's taxing. It's a taxing job. Like, it can be taxing on you, on your emotions. The hard days are the days where you're struggling to show up in your own life, and you have to show up for other people too. Like, those are the hard days in this business. And, I look at someone like my husband, and I just took him on this cruise that I earned. Sorry, my hair's like falling all over me. And I saw him relax and feel good for the first time in like 9 months, because his job gives him anxiety and is making him sick. And I have a job that lights my soul on fire. And that's not always the case. I mean, you can love what you do, and still at the end of the day, like, your job takes a lot from you. And while, yes, I feel like this job takes things from me, it gives me more than it takes. It fills my cup on a daily basis more than I pour out. So first, let's talk about the Success Club cruise. So they took us, Carl bought out the whole boat. There were 6,500 people on this boat. And if you've never been on a cruise, it's really cool. It's like a mini city on a boat. And so they had workouts for us every morning. They had Shakeology bar every morning. Like, the napkins had the logo on it. There were signs everywhere. And you're really like spoiled. And not only that, is when I got on the boat, I had a $600 credit to spend on the boat. So that covered our drink packages and a little bit of jewelry for me. And it was very much needed. But not only that, is being around these people is just amazing. Like, I've never had a group of people who go out of their way to compliment somebody or make somebody feel included or to start a conversation. And, just meeting new people and hearing their stories, that's what does it for me. That's what did it for me at Super Weekend, was hearing these stories, hearing where people have come from and where they are now. I'm not super impressed with, somebody with a super jacked body, but when I hear that, they suffered loss and grief or cancer, and, this was their way out, or this was their outlet, like, that's the kind of stuff that moves me, So I had my room covered from Success Club. So if you earn Success Club every month, then you are a Success Club All-Star. That gets you a general registration for the Success Club trips for the next year. So right now, unless you are a new coach that signed up in 2019, then the rules might be a little bit different. The Success Club points that we're earning this year qualify for you for a spot on the 2021 trip. Okay, so it's a little bit of a year like lapse there, because they did do like a first come, first serve basis. They used to do the trips that way, and now they're really centered around Success Club, which is, you know, the whole point of the trip. So if you're not hitting Success Club, then even if you don't hit Success Club every month, I think that, you know, you can get on a waiting list, and they go from the top, like the next highest earners out of the people who didn't, like total Success Club points. So, you know, shooting for that goal of 3 to 5 people a month. And then for every Success Club point you get, it's $10 towards your trip. If you hit Success Club. If you do not hit Success Club, it's $5. So if I hit Success Club 4, that would be $20. But if I hit Success Club 6, it's $60. Do you see? It's $10 each point if you hit Success Club. So 5 and over, it's $10 per point. But if you're under 5, then it's only $5 per point. So the 4 times 5 is 20. Everybody with me? So January always has double trip dollars, which is great, because January, a lot of people are starting a new resolution and trying to get healthy and creating new goals. But you can cap out at $500 earned per quarter. But if you hit Success Club 10 every month, that's $100. Your room on the cruise or in Mexico or in Cancun or Dominican Republic, where we're going back, is $1,200. So you can earn a free trip. It's a $300 deposit for the trip that is non-refundable, but that's it. That's all I paid. So I paid $300 to go on that cruise with my husband. And last year we took both of our girls, and I didn't even have to pay for either of them to be in the room with us. We bought one extra plane ticket for Elsie, and we actually got our tickets covered by our credit card. So, you know, it's really nice to, you know, not only do what we do, but to earn free trips. Like these trips are real, and anyone can go on them. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, how far you are in your journey or how new you are as a coach. If you are consistent and you're constantly, you know, changing lives and signing up new people, then you can go on these trips. Like, I remember when Mark and I got our passport for our honeymoon, literally my only goal was to use it again before it expired in 10 years. Like, these kind of trips are not in our budget. They are not something that we could have if it wasn't for this opportunity. And I just earned a spot for our diamond retreat in Utah. So I'm also going to Utah in the fall. And then I want to talk to Michael about her and I maybe hosting a retreat somewhere, like maybe like close-ish to her, and just kind of renting out a house somewhere and seeing, or maybe halfway between us where we can, you know, people can drive and keep it a little bit low key. But I would really like to have like a small leadership retreat. So that's something that a lot of teams do too. There are leadership retreats, there are diamond retreats, there is Summit, which is amazing. Guys, my first Summit, I cried every day. Like, happy tears, like crazy. Oh, is that really sad, baby?
Super sad. Thoughts on forcing a tubby? Like,
she loves tubbies.
She does not love tubbies tonight.
You don't want a tubby?
No. Like, she bawled at the thought of, like, you know how normally she tries to, like, climb in? So I set her down beside it to try and, they know what kids are like. Look, there's
Yeah,
a
but
baby.
I don't need to have the whole conversation.
Okay.
Okay.
Thoughts on forcing the tubby, or just because I know you have school with her tomorrow? That's why.
Well, I think you need to wipe her down at least. Can you make her bed
But
too?
Norway. We do a Norwex tubby.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Okay. Oh, I don't like that idea either, Tabby.
You're in charge.
Okay.
Okay. Don't remember it all. Where I was. Summit. Oh, guys, like I can't even hearing stories in person for me is just so powerful. It's inspiring, and you need need to connect with these people, like face to face, in living person, on a regular basis, because it fuels you, it pumps you up, it fires you up. Like, I have only missed one Super Saturday, and it was because we were in a wedding that day. Well, my sister was in the wedding and I was helping. But like, they're live. Any local events in my town are non-negotiable for me, because I told myself, okay, this is not the season of life where I have the time or resources to travel the country for personal development seminars. Like, no, I'm not taking Cora, even though she's free. Like, no. So I told myself, when there's a training in my city, or when there's something in my city, then I'm going to go. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to go. I'm going to get the most out of it. So I will tell you guys, if you're anywhere close, Pittsburgh is having a 2-day training event in November, and it's going to be amazing. Like, Keith Callahan is coming. So the author of Build to Last, like the millionaire that people let fly under the radar, he's one of the people that are coming. So that's in November, and Jess is possibly speaking at that one. Holly will be speaking at the Super Saturday in July in Pittsburgh. And guys, that's something else that was on. So I remember, I'm jumping around here and I'm sorry, but that's just me. I remember the very first Super Saturday I went to, and I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I sat in the back with Mark. I was so nervous. I thought I was going to be the biggest person there. I thought everyone was going to have a 6-pack, and I was wrong. But I immediately gravitated towards someone else who was not at the end of their journey. And we were talking about, how long we've been doing it and how much weight we had lost. And at this point, guys, I had lost 60 pounds, which was a lot, but I was still like, like, I still, was awkward with a sweaty selfie, didn't want to take it. I remember they were rolling out the PiYo. They were doing, Cam was doing a PiYo workout. And if you've done PiYo, while it can definitely be a really good workout, it's not like crazy cardio like Shanti or anything. Guys, Mark took Elsie for a walk in the stroller around so I could do the workout. And I came and found him halfway through because I couldn't even do it. Like, I couldn't hang through the half an hour of PiYo in a live workout. And I was ashamed. And so we walked around, and April had talked in the team page about making sure you got a sweaty selfie or make sure you got a picture. And I didn't know anybody. And I just went up to a random group of people and I was like, hey, so I'm the only one here from my team. Would you guys take a picture with me? And oh my gosh, I had 4 instant besties. Like, we're friends on Facebook and we've watched each other's journeys. Like, I didn't know these women, but they instantly like took me in like family. And for someone who was feeling really low and really alone and really lonely, like, they have no idea what that did to me, what that did for me. And then the next Super Saturday we missed. That was the one we were in a wedding. And then the next Super Saturday, Carl came to town. And I have a sales and marketing background. And I was approaching this business in that aspect, like sales, right? Like, oh yeah, I can sell ice to an Eskimo, like no problem, right? It all shifted for me when I sat there and when I heard Carl talk. And if you've never heard Carl speak, well, I mean, there are tons of calls. He's inspiring. He's motivating. He didn't talk about sales or marketing or recruiting or numbers. He didn't talk about any of that. He talked about changing lives. And then I heard two women share their story. And I still remember like very vivid details about their story because I remember sitting in those seats and feeling a tear streaming down my face because I said to myself in my head, well, she was broken. And if she can do it, then I can do it, because I didn't believe in myself at that time. Even though I was in this community, even though I had just signed up Mark as a discount coach, and I hit Emerald like 2 days before I went to this event. I wasn't in it. I didn't believe that I could be on that stage until I heard those stories. And I know how impactful it is to hear the stories. And that's why I share mine the way that I do. Because it was the stories that grabbed me. It was the community that drew me in. Like, I messaged my sister I bought my ticket for Summit the weekend of Summit the year before, because I saw her in Vegas with all these people who were happy as all get out, and they were all sober. And I was like, what? Like, people are happy and having a blast in Vegas, and they're not drinking, and they're like working out in the streets of Vegas, and they're happy about it. Like, you can tell when you see team pictures, when you see pictures of people at these events, like, they're just genuinely happy and they radiate that energy, and it's electric, right? And so it's not just about talking about Summit once a year. Like, you need to talk about this community anytime it impacts your life. Like, today was a hard day for me. My community lifted me up, like, without a doubt, lifted me up, like, happy tears all day long, right? So that's something that I share. My workouts were my therapy today. That's something that I share. So I had put on my vision board to share my story at a Super Saturday, because I told myself that I could be on that stage. And I did. And then that goal shifted from, well, now I want my coaches to be up there sharing their story. And by the end of this year, I will probably have 3 coaches that have shared their story on Super Saturdays or Super Weekends. It's not just about having these tools and what you can do with your life. You know, our whole purpose is, how many people can you help get there with you? You know, we're not doing this alone. We're doing this with a community of women, and everyone else out there, they need that community too. You wouldn't believe how many people do not have a support system out there. Like, there are so many people out there who don't have a support system. And you guys know how hard this is. You know how hard it is to do it with a support system. So you need to talk about that. You need to go to the events. You need to show that community. You need to invite people to join you. So Joel is coming into Pittsburgh. This is a perfect opportunity. If you have a celebrity trainer coming to your city, it's a perfect opportunity to invite people to join you. Hey, for $20, do you want to come do an awesome workout with this guy that looks really hot? I mean, he does, right? Yay, Leah! We'll be there. Nice. So does Jess. Jess has a VIP ticket too, so you can look for her. So I challenge you guys to all get to a super weekend and take a friend. So I'm going to try to do this too. I'm going to try to find a friend to take with me for Super Sunday. And it's even cheaper for non-coaches. So like guests, when you get your tickets, I do believe there's a guest option that's even cheaper. And they don't have to, you know, join. Yes, we definitely have to get a group picture. Although you guys will have separate seats and special places to work out. You get a special spot up front to work out with Joel, the VIP ticket. So, oh, and that's another thing. So they got a VIP ticket. I already have pictures with Joel, so I didn't do the VIP ticket. But anytime the VIP ticket offers training, I'm in. I'm always in. I don't care. I will pay that extra like $20, $10 for a guest ticket. Heck, guys, I will buy my guest a $10 ticket to go to take someone to this event, knowing that one single event has the power to change their life. Like it did mine. It absolutely did mine. You know, I've heard people talk about there's a join date and there's like a come alive date. And my come alive date was January 7th, 2015, when I sat in those seats and I heard those people. And it finally clicked and I finally got it. Like I got what we were doing here and that it was possible for me. And then I realized if it's possible for me, it's possible for anyone. Right? Because we all think that we are coming from a place that is so far gone that if we can do it, anybody can do it. Woohoo! Awesome. Okay, so get to a super weekend, talk about it, make sure you take, and here's the thing, guys. Here's what I do anytime I go to an event. Take several pictures. Don't post them all that day. Save them, right? Take a couple different team pictures. Take selfies with a couple other people. Take a picture of people up on stage. At ours, they always do this. They always take people up on stage at the end if they've lost, 100 pounds or more. I'm so happy to now have Holly with me up there every time now because I just get up there. It's me again. I'm Melissa. Like I was even talking to a market council member on the boat. She's like, we all know Melissa. She gets up there every time. I'm like, yep, that's me. I'm like, story hasn't changed. But so they do that. So know that's coming. So get your stories ready and take a story about that and share. Like take a story of the people up on stage just going through like, my name's Holly. I've lost 105 pounds, Melissa, 111, right? Whatever it is, like, don't just take a picture of a slideshow screen, of course, right, guys? Like nobody wants to see your, I forget what they're called, but like the pictures of Autumn and things like that. Like I don't share that stuff on my social media. Maybe in the stories I shared, I think day one, the picture of Autumn with day one. But, was anybody else shocked as heck? Heck, I can tell them on Michael's call. What the heck was that, right? Was anybody shocked when they saw Kat? I was like, what? Because if you heard, she was like, no, it's not Kat. Everybody asked me. She's got other things going on. And I almost shit a brick. I was like, what? It's Kat. I had to rewind and I got that and put it in my stories. Because for me, guys, Kat was such a game changer for me. Kat was such a turning point in my journey, even though it was very early on, because I tell people this, like, I needed to see somebody I could connect to. And that's why going to these events and hearing these stories is you will connect with a piece of someone's story. You will feel that, or you will have their story to share. And that connection is just so powerful. And the friends that you make, like Mark and I, we had dinner with strangers every night other than one. And we made friends and we friended people. And I feel like I live in a Beachbody bubble, right? It's like a whole different way of life. And you guys need to soak up everything in that bubble that you can. So if you have a local community, like be a part in that. If you VIP new guests. I would say maybe here. So you could, like, if you could opt to go back with them. Like, they're not going to tell a VIP person that you can't go with the regular people. So if you bring a guest and you don't want to leave them, then I would, that's just a call you can make. Like, you still get the photo op, but so you work out, in the middle of the room or whatever it is. And if they do trainings, we sit at a table. So it's, just that. Yeah. So, Oh, you guys are booming in the chat. Do you guys have any questions about the trips, summit, super weekends, inviting? So she actually put the National Wake Up Call on your list. Guys, I always like to get it done by at least Wednesday, midday. I don't like to go too late because sometimes there's good announcements in there. And like this one, she gives you action plan, like action steps about sharing, inviting, and sharing about the live events, about the super weekend. So she actually gives you invites, follow-up tips, all that jazz to apply to this super weekend to maximize it. So make sure you put the National Wake Up Call on your list. And then use that. Let's see. Sierra, are you in Pittsburgh too? Are we all there? Jen, where are you? You're close to Indy, aren't you? No. Yeah, Indiana. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, I was supposed to register. I was supposed to book my room for Summit today. Okay. Put that on the list tomorrow. Sorry, Greg. I'm staying in a room with my real husband and my work husband. Take that. Maybe his girlfriend. Maybe not. But anyways, I'm coming into Summit on Wednesday, so we'll be there Wednesday to Sunday, and we're driving. And then I want to, I totally just want to turn my house into like a coach brothel. I told Mark, like, I can sleep 8 people here. We should just have a leadership retreat at my house and hot tub and just send my kids away. Like, I'll even send away the husband. I don't care. But we do have a lot of local people. So when the weather gets nicer, I definitely do want to do a team bonfire and hot tub fiasco and all that. So team nights. So anytime, there's an opportunity, like if you meet up with a challenger or a coach, like take a picture of that. Talk about the community because you would not believe what will draw someone in. I was a new stay-at-home mom who had just left the job that treated me like crap. And so, one, I didn't want to stay at a job that treated me like crap, but then I went from at least having some social interaction to having none. Because you know how isolating being a stay-at-home mom can be. Like, I talk about, that the first Monday back after a vacation was not awful. And today, like, I worked, I took my girls to the park, I'm working. I even got 2 workouts in today. Like, I don't know who the heck I am, but somebody on a good track. Tomorrow I'll be. But when I show up, I make sure I show that, right? So something else, this is totally random, but I heard this and I just want to make sure that I'm sharing because I try to, so even like on the cruise, guys, I did not sit on my phone and work. I did not invite a single person, but I will tell you, I signed up 3 people that week who came to me because I was posting my stories. I was sharing. I was showing this opportunity. I was sharing, you know, that this is real. And also that I was staying on track while I was on a boat. Like I was posting my Fitbit steps at the end of the day and how many stairs I took. We took the elevator once in heels, and I did a little silly video. Like I let Mark take the elevator. So I was like doing dips and like leg lifts in heels. And, you know, like I shared it all in my stories. It didn't take me any extra time. Mark was updating on the Pirates and the Penguins when we would sit and have coffee and just typically, you know, we were just on our phones for a little bit. I don't feel like I worked on that vacation, but I am blessed to have this life. And not that I didn't work hard for it, but I want people to know that it's possible, because I'm just a stay-at-home mom who was a freaking hot mess. And not only did I get my life in order, but I'm working for a company who rewards me for that. Like I've become a better person. I am healthier. I am happier, and I get rewarded for that. Like, do you know how rare that is? Like, that's not how, I mean, how many of you get that from your other jobs? I've had good bosses, and they still, their priority was not my happiness by any means. Like my social life, my personal life, my health, none of it. It didn't matter to them. I was a number. I was a spot to fill. And I have felt like I stand out my whole life. And I've never felt like I can stand out but fit in all at the same time as I do in this community. And I've never been around people who have encouraged me to be me. Like the hot mess, the swearing sailor, all of it. So you need to be around these people. Take pictures, talk about it in your stories. Talk about it before you go. Talk about it after. So in the National Wake Up Call, she talks about inviting before you go to the event, sharing when you're there, and then inviting after, right? So I'm going to talk to Michael, but we're going to line up a coach sneak peek. I'm actually going to be visiting April. I leave 3 days after Super Saturday, and I'm driving down, and I'm going to be visiting April for a week, and we may get together with Michael. So maybe we'll even do like a live coach sneak peek. But I want to have something to invite you after the Super Saturday event. So that will be your follow-up. That will be your invite after if they didn't get to make it to that. And so make sure that you take a little video of people working out. So when we went on the cruise, and I'm not saying that you have to do this, but guys, if you go into a nice place, if you go hiking with your family and you're in great scenery, take a bunch of pictures. Don't upload them all at once. Don't use them all at once, but save them for when you want to make a nice coach post or a nice mental post or something like that. Do you guys have any questions? I really should not have done that second workout. I was all amped up, and then Sean took all my energy. I also got allergy shots today. I don't think you can see, but they get all red and swollen. I've got really, really high triceps here, even though they're not triceps. It was intense. Okay. I don't want to keep you guys super late tonight. I'm sorry this wasn't as intense or motivational as I thought it would be. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm very emotionally drained today. If you guys haven't saw my post, it's the anniversary of my friend's death, and it drains me. But today's the first time that I shared details about how he passed or the situation, any of it. I've always shared, I miss you. I can't believe you've been gone for 15 years. But the further I go in this journey, the more comfortable I am about sharing. When I first started, I didn't have these big shares all the time. I shared the little things because honestly, guys, the little wins, the little victories, they were what got me through the days. Like, you got to focus on those little wins and those little victories, because also remember that the people that you're impacting, they're like one step behind you. One step behind you, maybe two. You know what I mean? And you want it to be that way. Because how relatable is it for you to be like, yeah, look at my Ferrari and my lake house. Like, you can do this. No, they can't. I mean, they can, but it's going to take them a lot of hard work and a lot of time. But for you to be like, oh, I got this free Coach swag that you guys can see, right? I got this free tank top, or my coach just went on, like, share. Okay, so I want you guys, squirrel, action item. I will share some of my pictures from the cruise, and I want you to make a post about it. I want you to say that you're a coach, or actually a business partner. Your business partner just got back from a trip that she earned for herself and her husband. I will also add the Beachbody disclaimer that you need to add to your post when you're talking about anything income related, or when you're talking about anything like free trips, anything like that. You need to add the Beachbody disclaimer. I have it saved in a note section on my phone. Okay, that is important. That's something that I don't always touch on, so I want to make sure that you guys are clear on that, right? And that goes along with, like, I don't know, rules for like MLMs and pyramid schemes or something like that. Like, we don't want it to seem like because this isn't a get rich quick thing, and this isn't a drop 100 pounds in a week thing, so we don't want to be misleading, about the effort that they're going to have to put in, because I never lie about that. You're going to have to do the work, but it's worth it, right? So I want you to talk about what a trip like this would mean for your family. And are you going to be on the one in 2021? Guys, I just shared a post today of me posting 3 years ago, 2016, I think, that I was going to have a hot tub, that it was on my vision board. We haven't even had it for a year. But to see that in my newsfeed today, like, oh, hot damn, guess who's got her hot tub? Right? And show other people. Like, I didn't have to share that today, but I did, because I spoke it into existence. I put it out there into the world, and then I made it happen. So you have to show people where you're going as well, and talk about these trips that you're working towards, because the reality is, guys, somebody could join you right now and they could also get a spot on that 2021 trip. It is still possible. So they can go with you. And if you have someone who is really determined, they could maybe even go on that Punta Cana trip, right? So talk about, if you were a success starter, talk about earning a free ticket trip to Summit. Guys, I got a $200 travel bonus to go to Summit. I'm driving. Like, that's just going to pay for my food for the week. I'm going to make a post about it. Anytime your coach sends you something, or anytime anybody tags you in a story, I want you to share that. Talk about the community. Because people need to see what's happening behind the closed doors. They don't know what happens in the challenge group. They don't know what happens on these team calls, right? They don't know what happens in the coach groups. They don't know if we don't tell them. So you need to make sure that you're documenting, you're sharing this, things like that. So if somebody gives you a shout out and they mention you in their stories, share that and be like, I just love this community. I love this support, right? Or if you see somebody, like, shout somebody else out, right? So make sure that you're sharing that. I sent Holly a gift, and I was like, not to sound like, but take a picture of that and share it. You don't have to tag me and say I bought it for you, but just share that this community, it just gives, right? It's always about giving. Like my boss never bought me anything. Like I was promised like commission checks or raises that I never got. So not only did they not buy me anything, they didn't even follow through on things that they did promise me. So when I get free swag, or when I get a light from April, or a gift card from April for a challenge, or a personal development book, or a card, I'm sharing it because people don't live in that world. And they need to see that it's so much more than workouts and shakes. It's a sisterhood. Guys, how many bad days have you had where this team like pulled you up, lifted you up, or just kept you afloat? I know they're endless for me, right? And I don't share it enough. I mean, like, this community is legit the reason why I'm sober. BB is my AA. Like, I could not have done it the way that I did if I didn't have a solid support group and system. Like, that's powerful. Okay, so, the Instagram tip is try to keep your stories that you always have 6 to 8. Like 6 to 8 or above. And so what I told my coaches, I went live in my group the other day and I said, even if you just hit hands free, and by the way, I went to the settings on my phone and I changed like the sleep mode to a minute because mine was 30 seconds and I couldn't get more than 2 rounds on that without it shutting off and always like undoing my videos. I did surrenders 3 times today. Thank you very much, because I had to redo the video. So I changed my settings and I was like that. So my left side is going to feel a little bit more than my right, and I'm salty about it. So take it from me, go in there, change that. But one, hands-free, like make your shake or prepare 1 meal. Guys, that's going to be 4 stories, right? That's probably going to be about a minute. That's probably going to be 4 stories right there, right? And then do something crazy with your kids, or, you know, like a quote, something like that, right? Share your status in there. Make sure to keep, especially on Instagram, to keep your stories up at the front where people are going to see them to view. You need to keep it alive. If it drops down, then your story dies and it goes back to the end of the list. So to keep it current, to keep all those views on it, try to keep like 8 a day, right? And so I know that seems like a lot, but if you're doing the business activity tracker, it tells you exactly what to post. 6. So it has 6 tabs right here to share every day in your stories. And so if 1 or 2 of those is too, then you're good, right? And I have noticed that also try to do a poll every few days. And guys, it doesn't always have to be a poll about, you know, Beachbody. It can be like, do your kids fall asleep in the most random places? Like poll, like, how do they do that? And literally anywhere they can, like, you know what I mean? Like whatever. And just have people interacting on your polls, you know, every few days at least. That'll help bump that up. Add locations, add hashtags. You can even go in and add in the text multiple hashtags and then hit that first like button before the colors, that little tab, that if you hit that and then tap anywhere on your screen, it'll blend it into the background. It'll make the text the color of that background, and then you can minimize it, put it in the background, and it's hidden in your pictures and you don't even see all those hashtags that you're putting in there. So that's a good tip. Also, if I'm making a shake and I'm doing a story and I'm going for like 4 or 5 stories, right? Try to put some text in there too, because sometimes people are watching it and they're putting their kids to sleep and they don't turn on the sound. So try to give them a little bit of info, you know, a little bit of words so they can still follow along. Also, like, one video clip. I don't like to take a lot of video clips of my workout, honestly. I just like to get in there, get it done, get it over with. Leah's awesome with this. Like, she's very good at, she's got her selfie and then she's got her video. And like, that's her brand now. You know what I mean? Like, her following is expecting that sweaty selfie, that video. So for me, it's just a sweaty selfie. Sometimes in my stories, I do a video here and there, but they can count on some kind of sweaty selfie, serious, crying, laughing, silly, something, and a message, right? I always share some kind of message with my sweaty selfie. It's never just like, oh yeah, look at me, I work out. Duh. After 5.5 years, people know that. Like, people know I work out. I do workouts. That's a thing I do, right? So what was the workout, or why did I do the workout, or what did the workout make me realize, or how are these a better solution than what I used to have, and things like that. So yeah, so when I just put your phone up on stories, take one of a move, save it, exit it out, maybe one more, and then, sweaty selfie. If you don't want to do your sweaty selfie in your news feed, that's fine. Just do it in your, like, Heather does her daily sweaty selfie every day in her stories with a green check mark. Like, whatever you do it consistently, right? You are building your brand, and the longer you become a coach, the longer you really realize what that brand is. And in order to do that, you need to be doing the work. You need to be doing the personal development. You need to be going to events. You need to be making the changes. If you are constantly making changes and improving your life and sharing that with others, it shouldn't be that hard to invite. Because when you're inviting people, they're clearly seeing what you're doing, right? And then it's no longer a question of, can you do this, or is this possible? Now it's just, are they ready? And sometimes that takes a while. I just signed up a discount coach today that I told my team this. I met her in a playground 3 years ago when we took a week-long trip to Baltimore, and I walked Elsie around a mile, like a mile and a half, and up this hill while pregnant to find her a playground. Talked to one mom in this playground, added her on Facebook as a friend. I was even talking to her about coaching back then, and she just signed up as a discount coach. So I planted a seed over 3 years ago that just signed up. So people will watch you. We're planting seeds. The work that we do now, all this work that we do now, it pays off in a month or in 2 months. And that's why it's really important that even when you hit Success Club, to keep going. Right? So I hit Success Club 10 last month, and I think Mark was like 14, because I'm just building him. And once I get myself to 10, there's really no benefit to me having any extra. So I just put under him for the volume. But I could have, some of those people were like last weekend. I could have told them like, oh, wait until April. But I was like, no, I need to find more people in April. Right? Like, I don't push people off, to the next month. I don't try to hold off on that. I know that there are hundreds of thousands of people out there who need the help. And I'm just going to keep going and keep sharing. And I'm just going to keep getting better every day, because that's what's best for me, my family, and my business. So what are you guys all currently reading for personal development? Drop it in the chat. Or listening to. I want to see where we all are, and then I may recommend some stuff. And we'll wrap it up. Does anybody have anything that they want April to talk about on Thursday? She asked me if I had any topics. Earn Your Happy. I haven't heard about that one. Good one. So I just finished Build to Last. I read that on the trip. And I always like to have one personal development and one business personal development. Okay. So right now I have Girl Stop Apologizing for me is actually like personal. I feel like that's a little bit more mental, a little bit more personal. And then I'm listening to Leader Shift for my business personal development. So I always, and as new coaches, that business personal development can be YouTube videos. Excuse me, anything you want to know, Coach Caleb on YouTube has really quick, short videos. So if you want to learn, how do I get to Emerald? What is Emerald? What is a team cycle bonus? Anything like that, any little questions like that, Coach Caleb on YouTube has a lot of good, funny, quick videos, like all under 5 minutes. So quick videos. And then, see, I really like Rachel's books, but her podcast, she doesn't feel as much my tribe. Like, I'm like, yeah, you don't swear. Like, if it slips, you're like, And not that you have to be sweary to be my tribe, obviously, but I don't know. I don't know what it is like about her podcast. They're not edgy enough for me, maybe. Is that the one that she does on Facebook, or is her Facebook Live different than her podcast? I like when people get saucy. Unfuck Yourself is a really good one. And he's Scottish. So it's Scottish fuckery. And I just love it. It's a good one. Also a good one for like self-sabotage, anxiety. So I also recommend personal development to my clients. Good ones are Girl Wash Your Face, The Energy Bus. I even like The Slight Edge because every little thing does compile and add up. But also like Unfuck Yourself, that's a good one. Like so many people have that self-sabotaging behavior and anxiety and things like that. So yeah, it's a good one. Okay. I also let me go through here and give you guys my top favorites. So Go for No is a good one, especially if you guys struggle with, I guess, sales, closing the deal. Go for No is a good one with that. Eat That Frog is good if you struggle with time management. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. Very good one. The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, also a good one. That's Darren Hardy. The Miracle Morning, amazing. Everybody should have it on their list at some point. I've done both regular Miracle Morning and Miracle Morning for network marketers. Loved them both. Start with Why. The 5 Love Languages, I recommend that to clients all the time. If they're married, I think that's a really, really good one because a lot of times couples are speaking different love languages and they don't feel loved and they're expressing. And so, because a lot of that, guys, like I'm not a life coach, but I'm kind of a life coach. So having things like this that I can give, especially like when a spouse takes on a new journey, sometimes it creates friction. And so I like to make sure that they're bringing their spouse along. And so I usually recommend that book. Let me keep going. Present Over Perfect seemed like, I think you guys will know what I'm saying with this, but seemed more like a Michael book than me. It's a little bit more like spiritual. Kind of like The Universe Has Your Back, another one like that. I was like, yeah, this is a little too for me. I don't know. So sometimes you get books like that they're not really like, they don't speak to you. Guys, if I have a book where I'm like, wait, what the crap did they just say? What? Like, if I can't get into a book, I don't even waste my time, right? I just get something else. And so everything won't work for you. The Go Giver, I like that one. The Go Giver. GoPro, good one. You're a Badass, that's a good one for anybody. Challenger, that's a really good challenger, personal development. If you're not first, you're last. That's almost an 8-hour book, and he says he wants you to finish it in like 2 to 3 days, which is why it is unread in my library. Because I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. Leaders Eat Last. I like that one too. The Compound Effect, of course, is a good one. The 5-second rule. If you hesitate a lot, if you have a problem taking action, procrastinating, it's a really good one. The 5-second rule. Grit, I like that one too. Girl Code, I really like that one for girl bosses. The 4-Hour Work Week, I haven't finished that one. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Meh on that one, even though it had a fuck in the title. I mean, it was okay, but the 12-Week Year, really good one, but that is a book for somebody who is pushing to move their business. And same with the 10X rule. Like, if you're looking to take this thing to the next level, the 12-Week Year, the 10X rule. I also like High Performance Habits, the Energy Bus. I have Dare to Lead, Leadership. And so that's most of my library. If you guys wrote those down, I can also take pictures of them and send them in the group. Okay, so I will share, what am I sharing? I'm sharing some pictures of the cruise. And I want you guys to make a post about it. I want you to speak it into fruition. When will you earn your first free trip for you and your family? Or who are you taking? And, you know, what are you doing? Or do you just want to, you know, if free trips are not something that you're working towards right now, then share that they're out there. Share that it's possible. Share about how cool it was to see this community, you know, coming together on a boat and like whatever, right? Whatever. If you had FOMO, share that. The 2021 trip, I do not. But if it follows the same like pattern that it has been for the last 5 years, it would be somewhere in Mexico. So Cancun, Riviera Maya, somewhere like that. Because it went cruise, Punta Cana, Mexico, cruise. We're going back to Punta Cana. So I would say maybe Mexico. So that would be my guess. But yeah, and then talk about, you know, going to do a workout with a bunch of your friends on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, you know? So make sure you watch the National Wake Up Call, work on taking a friend, and get your booty to a Super Saturday, take extra pictures, and then hold them in your phone, in your back pocket to share, you know, not all that weekend. Make sure you do take some kind of story while you're there. Show the community. Take a story. If you take a break, take a story of people working out. You know, take a story of one of the 2 speakers who share their story. Or even, it's so powerful to even watch when they do the whole like who's lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds. Like everyone in that room is standing. Like it's very powerful. It's very cool. So get your booty to events. Talk about them. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to stop recording.